Ever wonder why so many brilliant entrepreneurs crash and burn? Not because of bad ideas, but because of their own ego. Imagine a pilot flying through a storm, convinced he knows better than the radar. That's what ego does. It blinds the vision that could have saved the journey. We live in a world that celebrates hustle, confidence, and being your own boss. Everywhere you look, social media screams, "You're unstoppable." But what if that same belief starts to blind you? What if confidence becomes the wall that keeps you from seeing the truth? We've been told that ego is power, that confidence equals success, but ego doesn't lift you higher, it isolates you. It makes you stop listening, stop learning, and start believing that you're always right, even when you're not. Think of all those founders who ignored feedback, refused to admit mistakes, and lost everything. Ego doesn't shout. It whispers, slowly steering you toward failure. The real danger isn't the market, it's the mirror. What if the real reason your business struggles isn't outside you, but inside you? Hey everyone, I'm Max, and welcome to Max Focus, where we rear your mind and redesign your life. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and join a community that's serious about growth, mindset, and real success. This video is for educational purposes only. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just here to help you see what ego can quietly do to your business and your mindset. Today, we'll break down how ego silently kills businesses, what it looks like in real life, and most importantly, how to beat it before it beats you. Stay until the end because we'll uncover a mindset shift that could save your business and your sanity. Ego isn't confidence, it's overconfidence. It whispers that you've already made it, when in truth, you've only just begun. That illusion makes you stop learning, stop growing, and slowly it kills progress. Over 65% of startups fail not because of bad timing or bad luck, but because founders ignore feedback and believe their own hype. Ego blinds them from reality, and when that happens, even the best ideas crash. Real strength doesn't shout, it listens. The best leaders aren't the loudest in the room, but the ones always learning, staying curious, and empowering others. True confidence grows from humility. Ryan Holiday said it best. Ego is the enemy of what you want and of what you have. The moment you think you've arrived, you stop moving. Stay humble. Stay hungry. Keep learning. Ego makes you protect your image, not your impact. It convinces you that being right is more important than doing what's right. But in business, that mindset can turn growth into stagnation and respect into resentment. Ego pushes you to prove you're right instead of making things right. When leaders stop listening, teams stop trying. True leadership isn't about defending your pride. It's about protecting your purpose. Research from Harvard Business Review found that high-ego leaders actually block innovation. Why? Because when ego rises, voices fall. Teams stop speaking up, and creativity quietly dies. Imagine leading with curiosity, asking, "What can I learn?" Instead of "Who's to blame?" That's how great companies grow. As Jim Collins said, "Good is the enemy of great, but ego is the enemy of good." Ego says, "I already know," but that mindset builds walls, not bridges. When you believe you've arrived, you stop growing, and your team feels it too. Growth begins the moment you admit you don't have all the answers. A learner says, "There's always more to know." That's the mindset that fuels innovation and resilience. When you stay curious, every challenge becomes a doorway to new growth. Studies show that top executives who keep learning achieve 22% higher long-term success. The reason? They never stop asking questions. Their humility keeps them growing while others plateau. As Socrates said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." That's where freedom begins, when you trade pride for curiosity. Stay humble, keep learning, and your business will never stop evolving. Ego doesn't just hurt your decisions, it isolates you. It makes you build invisible walls between you and your team, even when you think you're leading well. When pride takes over, connection disappears. Studies show that poor communication, often driven by ego, causes people to walk away from great teams. Gallup found 70% of employees leave because their leaders don't listen or connect. Ego turns leadership into loneliness. True strength in leadership comes from humility. A humble leader admits mistakes, gives credit, and listens first. That kind of courage builds loyalty and real trust, the foundation of any unstoppable team. As Simon Sinek said, leaders who don't listen will eventually be surrounded by people who have nothing to say. Listening isn't weakness, it's how leaders grow stronger together. The best teams rise when the ego steps aside. Ego fears failure because it ties identity to success. But the truth is, failure isn't who you are. It's just what happens on the path to mastery. When we separate our worth from our wins, we gain the freedom to grow. Every great entrepreneur has stumbled, but what separates the good from the great is reflection. When you study your failures instead of hiding from them, you unlock wisdom that success can't teach. Fail forward, don't defend mistakes, dissect them. The best leaders turn their failures into maps that guide their next move. Every wrong turn is just data for your next direction. Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Failure isn't the end. It's the evidence that you're trying, learning, and evolving into someone unstoppable. We live in the brand yourself era where everyone's building an image online. But when ego takes over, authenticity fades and we start performing instead of being real. The danger. You lose yourself trying to impress everyone else. Studies show the average American spends over 2.5 hours a day crafting or consuming their online image. That's time often spent comparing, curating, and chasing validation, not growth. Ego loves the spotlight, but it distracts from real progress. Real influence isn't built through perfection, it's built through honesty. People connect with flaws, not filters. When you show up as your real self, you build trust that lasts longer than any curated image ever could. Warren Buffett once said, "It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it." When you remember that, you start choosing authenticity over image. Because real success isn't about how you look, it's about who you are when no one's watching. We often think ego is something we can kill and be done with. But truth is, ego doesn't die, it hides. It waits for moments of pride or fear to take back control. Mastery isn't about winning once, it's about staying aware every single day. The world's top performers, CEOs, athletes, creators, all practice the same rituals: journaling, meditation, reflection. Not because they're weak, but because they know unchecked ego ruins greatness. True strength is staying grounded while climbing higher. Imagine starting every morning not asking, "Who will notice me today?" but "What can I do better today?" That one mindset shift can change everything from how you lead your team to how you grow your business. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Ego always craves attention, praise, validation, but peace? Peace comes when you serve, grow, and lead without needing to prove anything. Today, we unpacked how ego silently sabotages success, from business decisions to team trust. Remember, humility isn't weakness. It's strength under control. If this video hit home, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a reminder to stay grounded. Tell me in the comments, when was a time your ego got in your way? Let's learn from each other. I'm Max, and this is Max Focus. Rewire your mind, redesign your life, stay humble, stay hungry. And I'll see you in the next one.